What would you like to serve, sir?
Ah, are you a red man or a white? No. Let me guess. Red, yes?
Gosh, it shows, huh?
Do you like it dry?
Oh, hell, I'd drink dust if I could.
Well, let's see then. Perhaps the 76 Merlot.
Yes, sir.
I'm terribly sorry that you caught us unprepared today. We were about to shut the main gate.
Everything's all right, I hope?
Oh, yes. Here, anyway. The constable called a little while ago. There was a murder in the vicinity last night.
A murder?
It's very unusual, I assure you. But I suppose even here we're not immune. Oh, well, we should let it breathe for a moment.
Right. Nothing worse than suffocated wine. Are you from this area, Mr. Montreaux?
Yes and no. I grew up in Paris, but my family has owned this estate for decades. My wife and I permanently settled here some years ago. Children do take pleasure in the country air.
Oh, you got kids?
Oh, yes. A beautiful daughter who is away at school. And my firstborn son, Enoch. He's 12. Have you children?
No.
But you must. Oh, children are every man's right to immortality.
Well, it's not the kid part I mind so much as the marriage part.
Oh, no, a wife need not be a burden if she knows her place. Her role is to serve you, after all. To care for home and heirs and leave a man to pursue nobler things.
Boy, do we live in different worlds. What kind of training do you need to be a viticulturist?
The lessons I consider most valuable came from my father. He was quite a master.
I ran into an interesting tourist angle today. Seems the Holy Grail is supposed to be around here.
Oh, the Grail is a marvelous legend. But most stories are ignorant of the true meaning of the Grail. You see, the Grail has far less to do with Christ than with an idea. The fountain of youth, the eternal flame, the philosopher's stone.
All of those are related to the Grail?
Oh, yes. The Grail is that thing, that one thing, or whatever symbol you use for it, that represents completion, perfection, the absolute. Do you understand now?
Well, no, not really.
Turning base lead into pure gold. That is the alchemist's aim. But it's not about real lead and real gold. It's symbolic. Man is the lead. God is the gold. Man to God. That is the alchemist's goal. That is the Holy Grail.
Huh. But I thought with the Grail, it was actually the blood. The blood in the Grail that was the immortal thing.
Well, of course. The blood is the elixir of life. The juice of the forbidden fruit.
The juice of the forbidden fruit?
No, never mind. Dusty old theories are a hobby of mine. Let's stick to the wine, shall we?
Do you know anything about the murder?
No, not really. There were two men, neither of them from here by the sound of it.
Do you believe the stories about a local treasure?
Indeed. It is in my soil, monsieur.
What exactly is viticulture?
You are a wine critic, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your definition?
Well, to me, viticulture is about breeding, and I don't mean the mechanics of grafting. Grafting is only a tool. What's meaningful is the essence of the two vines you're combining. There are literally thousands of grapes, and most viticulturists choose from well-known stock. But my father always bred his own grapes and has passed down some very rare species.
I'm fascinated.
Really? Well, I don't want to bore you.
I'd like to hear more about your breeding program.
You won't reveal my secrets?
For my ears only.
Very well. The secret is in mixing the best strains, of course. But there is an art to it. My father taught me to visualize the ideal grape. Once you can visualize this perfect fruit, you can analyze even the best stock and see where it is lacking, in color or body, for example. Or perhaps it could be just a touch sweeter or lighter. And the trick is to find a grape equally fine, but one which is perfect in exactly those areas which the first grape is flawed. The marriage of these two vines will produce an heir, and then this heir undergoes the same process, you see.
Don't you ever get where you're going?
Eventually. But even in the interim, your grape will soon be far superior to anyone else's. Try the wine, Mr. Knight.
Wow, that's good.
This fruit did not come about by accident. It is the result of thousands, even millions of crossbreedings. Everything that it is today is a result of that hereditary tree. Don't you think it is ironic that a grape or even a dog or a cat should be so carefully bred, but that most humans depend on such a silly thing as love?
Then again, there is something to be said for spontaneity.
Is there?
You know, hearing you talk, it reminds me of something. What is it?
Alchemy? The transmutation of the philosopher's stone?
Nope, that's not it. It was Ask Mr. Science. Y'all get that program here?
Television? I'm afraid not.
Well, they had this bit about DNA. Kind of how DNA has this funny pasta shape, but it's really billions and billions of instructions, kinda. You get into DNA with your breeding program at all?
Actually, DNA is an interesting issue, Mr. Knight. Did you know that the magic alchemists used was based on an intuitive understanding of the principles of DNA?
I'll be darned.
But to answer your question, no. I have my own ways of testing the vines, and they're far older and more traditional than DNA testing. Excuse me. Allo, ici Excelsior. Ah oui. Préparez une note pour sa leçon. Forgive me, I'm afraid I must return to the house. The news of the murder has quite upset my wife. Besides, my son awaits his afternoon lesson.
Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Montreaux.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, Mr. Knight.
Kind of a nice fella.
So where's Mosley?
Hey guys, it's 5.
Thank you, O guardian of the clock.
Okay, don't start, you two. I want to hear what happened.
You mean at Chateau de Serras? You're right. The guy's probably into one of these secret societies. You should have heard him go on about alchemy, but I don't know. He seemed more bookish than anything.
I say anyone who's involved with these secret societies is a big suspect.
Speaking of which, Larry Chester is definitely lying. He said McDougal and Mallory just stopped by last night for directions. I couldn't get him to crack.
Who's this? Chester?
That's right.
Interesting. I'll get started on the treasure angle. Check out the museum and church tonight. That book really got my juices flowing.
So that's what it takes.
Huh?
So, are we gonna eat or what? I'm starved.
Well, actually, Grace and I had talked about catching up.
That's okay, Mose. I want to stick with my research for a while. Why don't you and Gabriel go?
I can wait till later if you...
No, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think we should be going right now, shouldn't we, Mose?
See ya.
See, Grace, maybe after dinner?